What is a free choice? If you say, I made a free choice, what is I? What does I include? Does it include your unconscious and your subconscious motivators? Is your view of freedom compatibilist or incompatibilist? In other words, can free choice include some determinism or no determinism at all? Are we destined for a fixed fate? Or is there true agency within us that allows us to surf our own path on a sort of wave of tumultuous power clashes? Let's talk about fatalism. Fatalism is the belief that all events are predetermined and inevitable, and that individuals have no free will to influence their outcomes. It suggests that everything that happens is already written or decided, and that human actions and choices have no real impact on the course of events. Fatalism is a philosophical concept that has been explored by various cultures and throughout history. It can be seen in religious beliefs, mythological stories, and philosophical works. Some people believe in fatalism as a way to make sense of the world and accept the challenges and difficulties they face. Others find it to be a depressing and limiting view of life, as it suggests that individuals have no control over their own destiny. Difference between determinism and fatalism. Fatalism and determinism are both concepts dealing with the inevitability of events, but they differ in important ways. Fatalism. Implication for free will. It suggests that free will is irrelevant or an illusion since human actions have no impact on the course of events. An example, if someone is fated to die in a car accident, fatalism implies that no matter what actions they take to avoid it, the accident will still happen. Determinism. Determinism is the belief that all events, including human actions, are the result of prior causes governed by the laws of nature. It suggests that every state of affairs is determined by preceding events and conditions. While determinism implies that human actions are influenced by prior causes, it does not necessarily deny the role of human decision-making. The choices themselves are determined by prior factors, but they still contribute to the outcome. Example, in a deterministic framework, a car accident might be caused by specific factors like weather conditions, mechanical failure, or driver behavior, which can be traced back to prior events. Key differences between fatalism and determinism. In fatalism, outcomes are seen as inevitable regardless of actions or circumstances. In determinism, outcomes are the result of a chain of causes, and while these causes can determine the future, they do so through a sequence of events that could, in theory, be understood and influenced. So my perspective on this is a combination of all these viewpoints. I really think the individual does have limited agency, but we just can't choose any option we can come up with in our imaginations. We're limited by objective reality and our physical evolution, much of which we become part of through no decision of our own. If that's the case, at least some of what you are comes from evolutionary processes beyond your control, and your environment has come about through processes beyond your control. That is a massive amount of deterministic power that you are dealing with. You can use it, or it may limit you depending on the situation. Imagine it as an ocean that you're swimming in. You can't just fly out of the water. You can't turn the water to stone and walk on it. But if you don't swim, you will drown. You control that little part. You can swim or drown. That's about the size of your free agency in that situation. You can't just decide to breathe underwater. You can't grow flippers because you're limited by the same things all other humans are limited by. There's some discussion about power. Humans gain power over time. Their agency expands through that power and they build themselves a boat on the water. Some become stronger swimmers. And let's face it, some drown because the deterministic elements in the environment and even in their own minds overcome them. Sometimes it doesn't matter how strong you are. The external environment just has more power than you and you lose. This is sort of how I think about it. Our reality is deterministic and we have some bit of limited agency, and some of the future is fixed simply because that deterministic reality probabilistically will persist in the future. I don't think the determinism of the future goes to the level that we should become fatalistic, but we shouldn't pretend that we can't see a dim projection of the near future at least through likely probability. For instance, it's very likely the sun will come up tomorrow. I'm only hurting myself by not allowing this, for all intents and purposes, as a certainty. Certainty isn't a perfect absolute. Nothing is perfect and absolute. Honestly, perfection itself is an opportunistic pipe dream. If you guys like this kind of philosophical subject matter, help us out by liking the video and subscribing to the channel.